Hey College and Career Success, welcome to week 6 of the summer semester, which means we are closing in on the end of the course very soon here. So a couple quick announcements before we hop into our week 6 assignments. At the beginning of the semester in one of my videos, I did indicate that you would have a chance to make up some work from early on in the semester. Well, that is going to start this week already. So this coming weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, you can see week 1 is already scheduled to open. So you are able to go in on Friday, Saturday, or Sunday and make up any work from week 1 that you may have missed because maybe you joined late to the class, you just missed a couple assignments, whatever the case might be. So pay attention to that opportunity. Again, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, you can go in and make up anything that you missed from week 1. I will be offering that opportunity for week 2 and week 3 as the weeks go on. So just be on the lookout for those announcements and take advantage of that. Although it's a couple weeks away, week 8 will also open up a little early just to make sure that you can have it done on time because our course ends on a Friday. So just be on the lookout as well for that early opening date. All right, so let's go ahead and scroll up. Again, we're in week 6. So if you have not already done so, please go ahead and take a look at the chapter 9 and chapter 10 lecture videos. Our week this week is based off both of those chapters. So those will give you the basis for what we're going to talk about in our assignments. All right, so in week 6, you have a typical week here where you're going to have your skills surveys for reflection purposes. You're going to have 2 discussion forums. This video is just going to focus on chapter 9. The next video will focus on chapter 10, but please make sure that you are posting in both discussion forums by Wednesday for your weekly attendance and responded to classmates by Sunday. And then you have assignments in each chapter and a quiz in each chapter. So again, this video is just going to focus on the chapter 9 work. So let's go ahead and scroll down and get into week 6. There is that skills survey that just allows you to check in with yourself and what you know already on this topic in chapter 9. Here is your prompt for chapter 9. It says, have you ever witnessed incivility in an in-person or an argument in the news? Briefly describe what happened. Why do you think individuals are willing to shut down communication over issues they are passionate about? So I'll use an example because it's a couple years old by now of the Will Smith and Chris Rock issue in when Chris Rock made a joke about Will Smith's wife. You know, that was like a huge issue of incivility. So if you're not familiar with what I'm talking about when I say incivility, go ahead and take a look back at our chapter 9 text, chapter 9 PowerPoint, chapter 9 lecture video. So this is asking you about, have you witnessed it in person? Have you witnessed it online? Have you witnessed it in the news? So kind of just give a description. So maybe spend half of the post giving a background description on this situation. And then the second half, why do you think people kind of shut down communication? Why do they either just stop talking completely, or maybe they become incivil? Like, why does that happen in your opinion? So it's kind of a 2-parter. Describe what happened in this issue that you witnessed of incivility, and why do you think this arises to begin with? All right, so on that same thread, you have a chapter 9 assignment called the Civility Project. It's going to open up into this PDF, and your job is to go and find 2 examples of media incivility. So this could be a video you've seen on YouTube. It could be a clip from a sports show, a news show, whatever it might be, anything that you like online or cable TV. It can be a social media post. It can be a meme, anything like that. So it has lots of different examples. If it's a link, go ahead and make sure that you include the link. If it's like a picture or a meme or anything like that, attach it so I can reference it. And you're going to do this twice. You're going to find 2 different examples. So what I will say is I've had students in the past literally just Google examples of incivility, and sometimes you get weird examples that way. You get like PowerPoints that talk about what incivility is, or video clips that are demonstrating incivility, but they're for training purposes. So just be mindful, just kind of look around. There's a ton of examples, especially if you spend any time on social media, in the comment sections or anything like that, you will see those examples. So you're going to answer these questions for both examples you use. What is being depicted? Just like real quick, 1 sentence, like what's going on here. Who do you think the audience is for? Was this a particular audience? Is it just in general, like for anyone on the internet? Was it a sports show? Was it a political show? Who was the audience of that? What do you think the purpose of that clip, that interview, that meme, whatever it is that you're using might be. Why is it an example of incivility? What do you think motivated the creator? Whoever the speaker is, whoever the poster is, what motivated them? And then what do you think is the result? Were people offended? Did it make people think? Did it make people change their minds? So it's just kind of really analyzing examples of civility or incivility in different types of media. Again, so you're going to do that for 2 different examples. Make sure you include like the link, the picture, the snip of the post, whatever it might be, so I can also just real quick look at it and see what you're talking about. When you're done, make sure that you save it with your changes and upload it into the Dropbox here. And then finally, of course, your quiz. So just a reminder, as we're getting to the end of the semester, some students are kind of forgetting that this is 2 to 5 sentences. So make sure you're responding to all parts of the question, because a lot of these are multiple parts, and then do so in 2 to 5 sentences. All right, so question 1 says, in class, your professor is asked to devise a set of rules to guide classroom discussions. What 3 rules would you suggest and why? Kind of based on this chapter, so not just like general rules. Connect it back to this chapter. Question 2, consider the 4 types of identity mentioned. So in our textbook, it's under section 9.2. They go over those 4 types of identity right there. Reflect on and write about a time when one of those was an important part of your social interaction. Question 3, what's the purpose of Title IX and why is it important in higher ed today? Question 4, what's the difference between equality and equity? And then question 5, if a professor neglected to include contributions or perspectives of an underrepresented group, what could you do to support the inclusion? Right? And again, this is all touched on in the PowerPoints, the textbook, the videos, so make sure you go back and reference, complete those in 2 to 5 sentences, and then again, Dropbox that as well. If you have any questions on Chapter 9 assignments, please feel free to reach out, and then I will be covering Chapter 10 in the next video.